Ah, yes. First thing you notice is how cool we are. Second thing you notice is that we are live. And if we are live, I mean, it's Wednesday at noon Eastern time, which is time for the very cool, the very hip, the very current high noon hemp show, your source for hemp infotainment the world over. I'm, of course, Stoner Jesus. You can do various things. Look for me, search me, what I'm doing on the interwebs. Check me out. If you feel like it, he, of course, is Beach. He loves hemp. He is by high above the Temptations in Northside and up high above the Flower Factory as well. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Temptations?
Well, beautiful out for the most part, except for the torrential rains today, I suppose. But weather here has been great. Of course, now we're going to get back to cold again. Uh, I saw a post. It was 70 yesterday, and the post was like, it's 70 today, and it's going to be 22 on St. Patty's Day. And, that definitely sums up the high state weather for the most part, and I love it. I love it. I embrace the fact that our weather changes like it does, and I embrace all of it. I get sick of it sometimes, like when it's cold and but even then, doesn't matter. I don't want to live somewhere where it's the same all the time. And
Right.
here, it can literally change in a day. Today, high of 70 something. Tomorrow, high of 40 something. Keeps you on your toes, and you got to have a lot of hemp clothes to make sure that you're prepared for any possibilities that may happen. That's just me.
Yes.
Remember, folks, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. All right, let's go ahead and let's do our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the hemp fields of America and to the soil in which it is planted, one seed under the sun, with responsibility, sustainability, and thrivability for all. And Stoner, don't think I haven't forgotten. You know what today is?
I thought
Huh?
you had forgotten. I was
Ah,
hoping you had forgotten. But no, what day is it, Beach?
Hemp Day. Yes. All right. Well, folks, it's Hemp Day. All right. We have 247 days left to remove Section 781 from the final appropriations package. That's November 13th. Currently, there is a move to attach either an extension to that date or to actually remove it in the next spending bill. The farm bill, we will get no reprieve. The farm bill, now, I don't know if the farm bill at this point is going to mess with hemp at all, which is good because they were planning on messing with it. I haven't seen, but as it's kind of coming around now, I think at this point, most people were hoping that the farm bill might include something that would either stop this ban on hemp products or extend when the ban actually started federally. But that is not happening. That's not happening. Apparently, they're getting pretty close to finalizing this newest farm bill, and I have seen that they want to make some changes like the ban kind of basically was trying to do, but I don't know if they've now removed that and they're just relying on the ban to do the ban thing, and they're just not going to mess with hemp, which is great, which would be great, in all honesty. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a daily thing. In Ohio. So all I can say, what really pisses me off about this is, they took protesting in this country and they made it into something bad by calling it something else. Okay, it's like I just don't even understand. how they let this happen. But now in Ohio, if you stand up to something that you voted for, it's called whining, according to Governor D. Swine. I mean, this guy's the whiniest dude on the freaking planet. And now, because we're standing up against the fact that they want to change what we voted on, they want to change the federal definition of hemp. They want to do all these things, and standing up to do them with an initiative is whining. It's like they continue to take away the things that truly, if America is great, some of the greatest things about them is the fact that we can take to the streets at any given moment and feel safe if we really think we have to do that. And that's gone away. And the other is to, they tell us, you want to change the laws, you want to change the world, vote.
Right.
And then we vote. And what do? They come out and want to change that. And when we say, hey, wait a minute, we played your game, they say we're whining. So showing up to the voting booth and supporting what was passed is now whining, at least in the state of Ohio. Well, I can tell you this. With everything they're doing, we used to say, as Ohio goes, so does the country. Well, guess what? With this year's voting, there's going to be a lot of people whining about the ridiculous changes that they want to make it harder for the average person to vote. Pure and simple. That's all they're doing. They're just trying to make it harder for the average person to vote. And they think somehow that will benefit them. But you know what? If you make it harder for Republicans to vote, guess what? It's going to be harder for them to vote anyway. I mean, now old people are going to have to go out and get all these IDs and all this stuff to vote. And the old people are the ones that, tend to go their direction. Anyway, it's a whole nother cheating that they're trying to pull over our eyes in the guise of making something safe that has never been proven to not be safe. They tried their damnedest. I mean, they tried with all their might to prove there was cheating going on in the voting system. They did this. They are the ones that did this. Tried, and then when there's no proof that a cheating ever happened, they go back to trying to change the rules so that they can start cheating. I don't know. It's like, anyway. We have filed a lawsuit. I shouldn't say we. There are some THC drink makers in the state of Ohio, right here in the local area of the Cincinnati, Ohio, because THC drinks are huge. And I think I said this last week, and I'll say this again if I didn't, or I'll say this now. They're really big with well-to-do older white people. Okay? All right, and that's really affecting how the older, well-to-do white people feel about DeSwine and his goons telling them that they can't go down to the local pub and get their THC drinks anymore. That's just the reality of it. And so, thankfully, we'll see. And again, this should have happened originally. And there should have been a lot more lawsuits filed the day after they passed this bill and the governor signed it for the lawsuits. I don't know why they've waited. I mean, I guess maybe they just thought that, I don't know what they thought. At first, I don't think they realized how much it affected them. That was the other thing. And then all of a sudden, people were like, wait, this intoxicating hemp stuff, they're talking about my THC seltzer water that I love? And I don't drink alcohol anymore because of? Wait, I don't want that. I don't want that. And so, we'll see what this lawsuit does. We are still collecting signatures. You can come in 3844 Spring Grove Avenue 7 days a week, at least 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday for sure, and sign. Don't, and I'm not saying this for any other reason than the fact that they just don't have the signatures. Don't go to VIP smoke shops. And this kills me. We're not listed on the official website for gathering signatures. Okay, the oldest hemp store in the and they brought us the packets. Somebody that's working with whoever is working with them brought us the packets. Somehow, Hemptations in the Flower Factory are not even on the list of places to go. But when people show up to the local VIP that is on the list and they don't have a signature, guess what they're doing? They're finding us. And so I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, whoever put the VIP on the list didn't drop off any packets for people to sign. That's for sure, or whatever. I mean, again, and again, they're not. And I'll say this just because this comes from experience. They're not working with a whole lot of money, so therefore, there's not a whole lot of really good organization. It took us in 2013, at least 6 months, 9 months, and we were as organized as we could be, and it was a pretty well organized movement to collect signatures for the Ohio Cannabis Rights Amendment, which I was a big part of, but these guys are working with very limited time, and they don't have time to mess around with messing this shit up. And there's this. So anyway, don't trust tell them, go to their website, tell them that they should at least, I don't even know where their website is. I don't even know where these official lists of packets come from. Honestly, I don't know why we're not on them. That's the craziest thing. But we have it. Come sign it. If you are a registered voter in the state of Ohio, please come sign the anti-SB 56 initiative. All right, let's get on with some product spotlights here on the High Noon Hemp Show. 4 from the store, 1 from my door.
By the way, speaking of pictures and whatnot, I did not get a news and a commercial email yet.
Well, son of a buck.
Right?
I made one. I swear I did. I'll work on that maybe, but for now, let's go ahead and do the products. So we got some crispy blunts. That's right, 100 milligrams of THC, industrial hemp THC, in a chocolate bar. Delicious indeed. And so, that's, in my opinion, that is 10 milligram doses. So, and I'm not eating one of those, and I'm not going to eat half of one of those. But anyway, with the rain and the sun, how about some hats? We need hats. This is probably the most inexpensive hemp hat that I have. These are quite inexpensive either way, and it comes in every color just about. Black, natural, blue, and green. That's Fair Hemp. Those are made by Fair Hemp, if you are wondering. That's just your basic hat. And of course, we have, probably 50 other hats to choose from with stuff on them and whatnot for your head pleasures. And I do have these, I think I have the green, the natural, and the blue on eBay at the old ERB Son of Ma. And I think you can probably search just Hemptations on eBay. Most of my auctions should pop up. I've tried to put Hemptations in the title. Either way. How about some Yanahali soap? This is Castile soap. Very, minimalistic, so to speak. Just a good old, regular old bar soap. Keeping the hands clean. Don't forget to keep the hands clean. We are coming out of flu and cold and all that season, kind of. But there is still stuff going around, so let's not forget about our hand washing, people. Let's not get lazy. I don't want to be sick. I very rarely get sick. Honestly, it's crazy. Everybody around me gets sick, and I knock on a good immune system, I suppose. I don't know. And the last is some pure hemp papers. It's kind of interesting because I do think there's, I think there's now an anti-raw paper movement, and so a lot of customers are coming in now and looking for other papers. And again, this goes with basically raw running the industry for 20 years. Everybody wanted raw papers. Everybody loved them. Now there's kind of they're bigger than they need to be mentality. And so anyway, but we got pure hemps, unbleached, and then regular, and all sizes and whatnot. So roll your hemp in hemp with some hemp.
Indeed.
And the last. Now, I know I just showed a banner, and I said it might have been one of my favorite banners because it showed, the different languages for hemp. But this might be the tie for my favorite banner, only because, it's printed only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been polluted, only after the last fish has been caught. Only then will you find that money cannot be eaten.
Indeed.
And of course, the Cree had to come up with that after they met the white man. Like, that's not how they lived, because guess what? They didn't have money.
Right.
Okay. And they were eco-conscious. And all of those things. And so once again, it wasn't America. That's why Native American doesn't make any sense, because it wasn't America until the white person got here and taught them about money. Anyway, there you have it. Another part of my hemp banner collection from over the years.
Indeed.
And the artwork, of course, on this one is primo, I'll have to say. And has held fast for 20 years, 25 years, however long I've had this banner. It's a good 20 years at least. No doubt about that. All right, there you have it. Here on the High Noon Hemp Show, 4 from the store, 1 from my good old Dory Door.
Indeed.
All right, and now
to the beachwear segment. And often, as you know, if you've watched the show for any length of time recently.
Oh, yeah, I did lose you. I can't hear you. I wonder why.
That's weird. It's very weird. I don't know why that happened.
You're going to bring up a picture. You messed up my audio. I'll be back.
All right. In any case, while we wait for Beach to return, we talk a lot about the Guinness World Records because, of course, as you may know, if you don't, I'm about to tell you, the Guinness Book of World Records or the Guinness World Records Corporation does not recognize any kind of hemp or cannabis records at all. They refuse to have any kind of dealings with hemp or cannabis, no matter its legality or anything like that. So they just don't care. They don't worry about it. They cover everything else. Literally everything else in the world is covered by the Guinness World Records, but not hemp and cannabis. And I've kind of become interested in maybe learning on how they pick these records. This record they got coming up just came from a TV show. So I guess they kind of really didn't put much work into that. But I imagine like a group of like old white British guys and like, powdered wigs and monocles, and they have like dartboards and they're just throwing arrows or throwing darts at dartboards to get various word combinations. And that's how they come up with their different records that they come up with. But as I said, this one just comes from a TV show, India's Got Talent. There's a new world record for most flaming concrete blocks broken in 30 seconds. 37 achieved by Narayanan N from India, of course. India's Got Talent. And well, that's a record. Why that's a record, I don't know. Most flaming concrete blocks broken in 30 seconds. I mean, I guess that's impressive, 37, but I wonder why. And again, they just copped out on this one. They saw it was on a TV show and they're like, oh, we'll just do that record. Nobody at the Guinness World Records thought of that. It came from India's Got Talent. So anyway, congratulations, I guess, to Narayanan N from India. But it makes you question, why? Why? Most of these. Why? What are you doing?
Why indeed?
It makes no sense. Now, I know why we do what we do, because we were chronicling Beach's extensive record-setting, record-holding wardrobe of hemp clothing. And every Wednesday, we bring you his outfit. And again, as I've said many times before, if you see Beach out and about, all you have to do is ask him this question. He'll tell you what he's wearing. When you ask, what are you wearing, Beach?
It's true. Every day, head to toe, don't you know? What am I wearing? Now you'll know.
It's blue.
That was right off the head. I won't remember that. So it is blue because as we speak, in fact, the big blue is tipping off in less than like 5-10 minutes. We have a game. This is the first time, folks,
Wow,
that the High Noon Hemp Show has ever had to compete with Kentucky basketball. I do remember one Wednesday I did the show, and then we were playing in the tournament like an hour after that. So I did the show, and then I went and watched Kentucky play. Today they are. It's a bad thing because we're playing in the first round of the SEC tournament, and that's not a good thing. I think I read this is the first time that we've had to play in the first round in like a long time. But anyway, so go Big Blue. You know it's true. I follow them with all my love. So today is a Big Blue
indeed.
Wednesday here on the High Noon Hemp Show. Up on top there, that's a classic head case do hemp hat. That Big Blue shirt is a hemp hoodlam. My pants, just so you know, first time I believe ever making the High Noon Hemp Show. That's right, you're seeing these for the first time. I do believe are a pair of Hempy's cargo pants. Maybe worn one other time, maybe. I don't know for sure. Being held up by a Hempy's belt. And of course, in my pocket there is my Green Springs technology pen, as always. Pair of Hemptopia briefs underneath. Satori big blue leaf socks. And then, of course, a pair of Saucony Jazz sneakers, bringing it all together. And of course, you know, the Saucony Jazz line, I like to remind everyone, is a vegan line of shoes. So if you're looking for that, there you have it. So yeah, go Big Blue. Now you know. What are you wearing, Beach? Here on this fine Big Blue Wednesday.
Indeed. And we do have the email we needed. So,
I
all right.
got it over. I got it. Yay! I don't know what it is. I don't know what commercial I picked or what trailer I picked, but I'm sure everyone will enjoy it. And then we'll be back with some news. Very little news today, though.
A second to load there, get loaded up. There we go. Now
It
we're going.
is.
How far will you go for hemp? Good temptations.
Which that reminded me, and I want to say that I have not self promoted us for this year's Best of City Beat, but I do believe that City Beat's Best of is still taking votes. I've kind of, I just haven't done any self promoting. But if you feel the need and you haven't voted yet in the City Beat Best of, and I believe you can always go back and add stuff to your vote in any time once you go there. But you just go to City Beat here, Cincinnati, Best of, and you got to go and find us. We are usually in. But we have won. I shouldn't say we're usually in. Here's the categories we have won in the past: best smoke shop, best green sustainable store, best CBD shop. Those are the ones we've won. I have been nominated for local activist and other things, but I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. The one I really care about is the green sustainable store. Honestly, um, that's the one that means the most to me. But there's a place down in northern Kentucky that does a great job every year. I don't know what they do, but they do a great job every year, and they've been beating us in that category. And the I feel like CBD place too. But I really think they're trying to be a hemp store or I think they are a green sustainable store. Anyway, so it's all good. It's all good. If you feel the need, go vote. Once again, I'm not paying much attention to it. City Beat and the rest of the world isn't. Cincinnati News is not doing a great job of letting everybody know that Temptations is actually still open. Not that why does anybody care? I don't know, but we are after 30 years still open. um, and still the largest selection of hemp on the planet. Just to remind everyone, you can't go in anywhere else on the planet. I don't care what hemp shop is where, and be surrounded by more hemp products than here at Temptations. Still the truth. It's been the truth. I have yet to be challenged on that. I'm still waiting. If you think there's a hemp store out there that has more hemp products than us, we can do a count off. you know, I hope they have like hundreds and hundreds of pieces of hemp clothing at the very least. Anyway, all right. So I guess Texas somehow, and I didn't know about this, but Texas is going to have a flower ban. And now, once again, we'll see how long this flower ban actually lasts, because this is an anti-consumerism issue. Okay, and what anti-consumerism laws say is, if I can have this product in this form, you can't tell me that I can't have this product in this form. All right. In this case, you can't say that I can have, say, hemp as a tincture or hemp as a pair of jeans, but not hemp, the flower of hemp. I mean, all parts of hemp are legal. Every part of the hemp plant is legal. Every byproduct of what comes from the hemp plant is legal. You know, if you've passed that test, that 0.3% or less, by dry weight at the end of the season, everything that's made out of that is legal. Whether it's a pair of jeans, whether it's just plucking the flower, or anything else. So, this is why these bans, when they try to ban one form of hemp specifically, and again, that's why these bans on intoxicating hemp. Like, once again, you can't tell me in the state of Ohio if I can't have hemp in that form when I can have hemp in other forms. That's anti-consumerism just on that little piece of that little piece. So we'll see how this old Texas flower ban really goes. Honestly, I feel like it will get challenged, and we'll see. Although in other states where this has got challenged, mostly they lose. Somehow California has made it work, and I don't want to let anybody in Texas know, because now the bad people in Texas be like, well, what did California do? How did
Yeah.
California do? Not that Texas wants to learn anything from California. Because, I mean, they don't really like each other, I don't think. Anyway, so so the governor of Wisconsin, how about this guy, sent out a letter to every member of his congressional delegation in the state, urging them to do whatever they can to stop the federal ban. And again, it's brilliant. And this is more proof that states are going to realize that if this ban goes through, this affects all hemp. And they can say what they, it doesn't affect the grain, it doesn't affect the fiber. And again, it does highly affect the flower growing of hemp, but it further demonizes it. And that's why grain and fiber farmers are trying to mess around with it anyway. And so it adds to that demonization of it that still exists. Again, the licensing, the testing, the all this, the all that is it's too much. It's over regulation. You know what I mean? If you got to keep track of all the hemp farmers, that's fine. You got to register yourself as a hemp farm so they can come out and look at your field. That's fine. Just to make sure you're not, say, growing marijuana. To get around it and saying it's hemp. And those risks would be high. Like, if you said you were a hemp farm and then all of a sudden they came and inspected your plants and it's like, well, we think these are marijuana plants. We're going to test them because we think they're marijuana plants. Okay, what they call marijuana, and they test for high THC, then you go to jail. Again, it can't be that hard. It really can't. And you want to justify some like $35 filing fee just so they can keep track of you, just like Kentucky does for the most part. And so they can go out and they can see, and that covers the cost of somebody running around to registered hemp farms, just looking at their fields, making sure they look, looks like a hemp field. And even if it's CBD, and again, if they look at it coming, they look at it and be like, oh, we think these might be marijuana plants. Then they test them. And then they can find out that it's, if it comes back 0.3% less, then they're good. If it comes high, if it comes back, up to 1% or 2%, then there's got to be that you have to destroy it philosophy, which is what it is now. If it comes back 14%, then you're growing marijuana and you go to jail. Again, it just all the licensing regulations, blah 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 blah, is what has not made the hemp industry as big as it can be for grain and fiber. It's held those farmers back because no, and I've said this 100 times, no farmer that's growing soy right now, no farmer that's growing cotton right now is going to switch to hemp if they have to have a special license, if they have to have this shit tested, if they have to worry about blah, 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 blah. They should be able to grow it just like corn, just like soy, just like cotton, and go on their merry way. But continuing to have it demonized, and again, this is, they keep talking about the federal ban. The federal ban's not going to affect the grains, not going to affect the fiber plant, Well, guess what it is? Because it is. Because now you're putting more restrictions on growing hemp, which means more farmers are going to say, no, I'm not going through this. I'm going to keep destroying the planet by growing cotton. I'm going to keep destroying what do I want to say? I'm going to continue to support the monopoly, which is soy. Check that out. Okay, if you're not eating organic soy, you're eating one plant from one company, which is used with one chemical that was made for that one plant that makes 199. All right, let's be fair. 95% of all the soy products that aren't organic come from one seed, controlled by one company. Do you not? I mean, I think farmers would run without hesitation if they didn't have to worry about all this crap to hemp to replace soy as a higher protein food product that humans digest better. And is also an optimal essential fatty acids, omega-6, omega-3s, and vitamins and minerals, magnesium, folate, all these things that I keep reading about that humans need, especially as we get older, are in hemp. But instead, the farmers are growing the soy because, you know what? Right now, it's easy for them. It's the same. And, but they don't like being controlled by what they're being controlled by who they're being controlled by. They're still, they're reaping those benefits. But we just, if we could get half of those farmers to switch to hemp grain for food product alone, it would be huge benefit to humans. And for that matter, a huge benefit to the soil. I mean, I don't understand how there was like some $1 billion lawsuit settled against a product which they spray on the plants and have proven to be bad. Yet that product is is still used, and you're eating it in soy. I don't eat soy. I avoid soy. I've avoided soy for, I grew up in the 80s. I saw soy, this whole soy thing go down, honestly. We lived on a small farm. I wasn't even trying to pay attention. Saw the whole soy Roundup thing go down. It was all part of the corporate takeover of farming in the United States. And it's destroyed food quality. It's destroyed our health. And it continues as prevalent today as anything. And, um, you know, hemp food wasn't even the main reason that I got into hemptations. It was more the hemp fiber thing because cotton has destroyed the planet with all the chemicals used. But the hemp food is a perfect change. If you're a vegan or a vegetarian, it's perfect food. And if you are older, heart healthy, amongst all the other things. I'll talk about that in a little while too. Let's see. Iowa. Again, here's yet another state going the right direction at a time, when the federal government is going the wrong direction and other states are going the wrong direction. Iowa is moving a bill to make hemp an agricultural commodity, which I thought it was because, again, it's not on the controlled substance list. It's under the Department of Agriculture. I don't know why it wouldn't be considered a federal agricultural commodity, but maybe that's a whole different thing. But Iowa wants to officially make it an agricultural commodity, which helps with getting insurance, and all kinds of other things. That again is, I believe, still kind of hard to do for hemp farmers in the United States because of the stigma still on it, even though it's 100% federally legal. And again, a farmer's not going to do that if you can't fucking have crop insurance on his crop. He's not going to grow the crop if getting crop insurance is difficult. Like all of a sudden he calls the dude and he said, "Hey, I want to grow some hemp." And I go, "Oh, check it out." And they call me back and they're like, "Oh, that's going to put you in a high risk crop insurance." Just like the credit card companies want to put me in a high risk credit card situation. So they steal more money. Now all of a sudden the insurance companies wants to steal more money from you because the federal government won't come out and say that this stuff is wonderful. We're good, 100% good. Good on everything. Grow it like it's soy, grow it like it's cotton. Whatever. Iowa's moving in the right direction. A lot more farmers in Iowa, especially if this happens. I can guarantee it. Now you're saying the average farmer is going to be much easier to convince. And Wisconsin, from my understanding, is one of the best states for growing fiber. It tends to grow a little taller at higher latitudes, or however that all works. More north. And again, Wisconsin, so they were some of the last. They were actually in Wisconsin. The last hemp farm was actually existed in the late '60s, until they finally stopped growing, and that was in Wisconsin. It's also in Wisconsin where they tend to, in the fall, show these videos of the state cops out burning these big, huge marijuana fields. That's actually leftover hemp. And again, they did this every year for years. And I would always, you'd see it on the news or something. Burning these big, huge. And again, I can, even looking at it, you can clearly see that it's not marijuana. It's just leftover hemp. And they always wait. This is the funny thing. And you can tell they always wait until it goes to flower so that the seed is left in the field so that they can come next year and waste a bunch of money burning down these hemp fields. I hope somebody's reclaimed them. Like so. You know, once hemp was legal, somebody reclaimed these natural hemp fields. Anyway, yeah, it's good stuff. Iowa, go for it. Wisconsin, good job. Either way. So, Article 5 vegetarian foods loaded with omega 3s to support heart health. Hemp seeds contain high levels of ALA, 2.6 grams per ounce, and that ounce also gets you 50% of your daily magnesium and 9.5, almost 10 grams of protein. You know, most diets recommend, um, or I should say, healthy diets recommend. Bum, 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 bum. Sheesh. All right. Um, most diets, and it's not about being on a diet. It's just about being on a good diet, or not a specific diet, but a good diet. Recommend 80 to 100 grams of protein, I think, a day. Um, and so that's just a good goal to shoot for a healthy diet, and that does not have to be meat based whatsoever. Hemp makes it pretty easy, to add to some other of the higher vegetarian, vegan food, so to speak. If you're looking to do that and add your protein, and again, that's the most important thing to supplement. Either way, um, and it's all good for heart and weight control. I've talked about this before. If you you know eat a couple spoonfuls of hemp seed, that will help keep you satiated throughout the day and make you feel less hungry for longer. And so that alone, and that's medical food proof. Okay, the science has proven it. Honestly, I guess I don't. Either way, so it's important. Again, it's one of the most important foods to add to your diet. Period. And now I've been talking about how the alcohol industry is all THC, man, we can't take it anymore. We gotta make the stuff illegal, ban it. Now they're coming out and being like, no, we don't want a ban. We want control of it. And so which is happening in a lot of states. And so, thank you very much. Uh, so, it's just so funny now. It's like, oh wait, maybe we should get involved. Let's not ban it, but let's go ahead and get involved and let's go ahead and take it over. Which is exactly what they're going to do if we let them. So if we want the alcohol industry to take over THC drinks, then stay complicit with all this crap that's going on, because that's what's going to happen if like the stuff that's going on in Ohio, SB 56. If it continues, that's exactly what's going to happen. The next thing you know, the alcohol people in Ohio are going to be controlling, and then they're going to be working with the alcohol industry that's making these drinks, which is I'm okay with, because then that's what this lawsuit is. These are the alcohol makers in Cincinnati that are actually making THC non-alcoholic drinks, because people want them at their bars and their establishments, and they want them at their local little convenience shops to take home. And local brewers are doing that here because the THC drink industry is huge across the country. Huge across the country. And so it behooves them to say, well, you know what? If we can make a seltzer water, then we should be making a THC seltzer water, because that's what our customers want, because they're drinking less alcohol. I would start, if I was a brewer, if I was an alcohol company, I would go back to a 1%. Try to get to like a 1%. If you get to 0.5%, you can call it non-alcoholic. But figure out how to make these beers in flavors that people think that they're still beers, and make them THC beers. No alcohol or very little. I mean, again, even if it's like a 2%, like you gotta have a little bit of hops in there just to get some of that flavor, maybe just a little bit, you know. But you go back to a 2%, and again, the real issue is the legality of making an alcohol THC drink. Okay, the federal government would not recognize that. You cannot do that. So Budweiser cannot come along and say, "Hey, we made, even if it's a 1%, we made a 1% alcohol, 5 milligram, 10 milligram beer." If it's 1%, it'd be technically be beer. You know, again, the goal would be to get it to that 0.5% or less alcohol. 5 milligram, 10 milligram THC. And then it's no longer, because it's a non-alcoholic drink, you no longer have to worry about any of those issues of putting THC with alcohol. You know, the local breweries can do it because industrial hemp is legal, alcohol is legal, and so I guess, you know, I don't even know why it would be an issue now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know why it would be an issue for Budweiser. Budweiser can come along, put 5 milligrams of industrial hemp THC in their beer now, and it does not change the legality of it. I don't know what I was thinking of. I'm totally going to retract that statement that I said earlier, because I'm not sure what I was thinking in my head. I was thinking in my head, I suppose, that if that THC was extracted from marijuana, then they 100% can't do it. I don't know why I was thinking hemp would be totally legal. For Budweiser, or I only mentioned them because, I mean, who's optimally primed more by their name than any other beer maker than Budweiser, to make a THC beer? I'm just, again, that's just my marketing brain. Anyway, anybody can do it. But the seltzer drinks are what everyone wants. People just want water. They just want water with THC.
Yep.
That's it. And they don't even have to be carbonated, which is even better in my opinion. The seltzer waters, I mean, and again, we missed that seltzer water boom, which happened like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't remember when the seltzer water boom was, which led to the seltzer water alcohol boom, which is now it's still out there. And so maybe that's why the seltzer water THC drinks are so popular amongst that group of people I was talking about earlier. And then if you're just tuning in, those are well-to-do white people. I don't it sound racist the way I said it just a second ago. So if you didn't hear me before talking about the largest consumers of these THC drinks are well-to-do white people, that might have sounded a little racist. Anyway, and so but here's the deal. I enjoy the non-carbonated THC lemonade that we have more than anything. We got a blueberry and a strawberry and just a regular lemonade, non-carbonated. And I think, and what I really find interesting in this hasn't happened yet, other than in one place that I know of, is that with all this beer popularity and whatnot, I don't know why a lot of places don't just have a industrial hemp THC additive that they could put into any drink. Like, Here's a little upcharge. You want 5 milligram upcharge to your orange juice? Here you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, I would have 100%. The first thing I did if I was a bar owner when hemp became legal in the state of Ohio, well, as I'd be getting me some THC additive and adding it to, as an upcharge. And then, again, you go less alcohol drinks and more just like, hey, you want a THC Coke? Here it is. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. The alcohol industry does not like the idea, but they're going to have to get used to it again. They're going to have to get used to it. Start investing in, stopping the ban on THC, hemp THC, and start investing in THC hemp and start making legal products in the United States. It just seems like such a smart move. Again, I'm not a visionary, but I can envision how things are going pretty well to tell you that that's the way it's going to happen. I am a visionary, by the way. I joke when I say that. A big part of who I am is being able to visualize, whether it's to visualize something I'm looking at the current moment and figure out whether it work, or to visualize in my head how something is going to turn out in the long run under current circumstances. I'm not always right. Don't think I am. Don't think that I think I am. But it is a big part of my success in life. I do think that's true. um, bum, bum, bum. So, I don't know if a whole lot of people know this, but and again, they're just sitting back, and this, it's kind of interesting, and I almost wonder now if this isn't driving a big part of where we are in the world. But Israel, for the record, and again, not a political statement. Yes, I'm anti-war. I am pro-soldier, anti-war. Just so you know. But the fact of the matter is Israel leads the world in cannabis research. All right, and the latest, and they've come up with some really good medicines, and they're truly just waiting. I really think this is what's going to be. I'm gonna predict this now. I've never really thought about it until now. I'm going to predict this now. If or when we reschedule, and we will reschedule, closer to the midterms, Israel, you wait to see if Israel isn't the first to step into the United States cannabis medical world, legal medical world, with their cannabis medicines. The most recent cannabis medicine that they've come up with fights fatty liver disease. I don't know what it is. Sounds terrible. But the fact of the matter is, and again, if you want to go find out, if you want to learn about medical cannabis, go read the research, go find the research that the Israelis have been doing. Because and again, I think it's interesting that they don't keep it from the world. I mean, I've known about this for a while because every once in a while an article pops up. Something, I see something. The Israelis are doing this with cannabis, blah, 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 blah. And so they've been doing this for a while. And so it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting once we do reschedule to see if they're not boots in America running with their cannabis medicines that I'm going to guess are probably highly successful. I mean, again, it sucks for the United States because again, we're every day we've been left behind when it comes to this. And again, it may be very low scale. We're not far behind everywhere else in the world when it comes to medical cannabis, when it comes to the medical benefits of cannabis, because the rest of the world is pretty far behind. But Israeli is proving that they're like, we get it, we've gotten it, and we're going to utilize it.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to end up being the world leaders in cannabis medicine because they weren't stupid enough to sit on their asses and do nothing. Call it a drug, call it an evil drug. They call it a drug, an evil drug. Don't do drugs. And then they tell us it's not a medicine either. It's like, well, wait a minute. I thought we had to take drugs were medicine. And the whole thing is it is a drug because it was a medicine. Right before it was made illegal, cannabis was hugely prescribed medicine, hugely used. Thousands of years of history of medicine in Asian countries. Okay, no different than cocaine, which started as a medicine, heroin, which started as a medicine, methamphetamines started as a medicine. They call them drugs when they want to make them sound evil, but you got to go to the drugstore to get your medicines for your blood pressure. Anyway, yep, that's the world. So I don't know who this Katie Price is. I'm not even going to show a picture of her. She looks like she's had more plastic surgery than a human should have, and I don't know if that's true or not. But I've been watching her. I've been paying attention to her for a while now because um, she has an autistic child, and her son is a big boy. I mean, he's older, you know. And I don't know. It's probably like 6 months or so ago. I saw some article, and I don't remember if I talked about it on the show. I thought I mentioned it, but I don't know that I did because I really just didn't even know who this person was. But she was making a big deal about the fact that her autistic son had accidentally gotten into her CBD tincture and consumed some of it. And all of a sudden, he's like calmer and much more in control of himself and all of these things. And then she's out there like, him accidentally getting into my CBD tincture was one of the best things ever. Which is crazy that she's using, CBD for anxiety and whatnot, and she hasn't thought to give her adult autistic son this to begin with. And maybe she said he accidentally got into it, even though she's been giving it to him, and she just finally wanted to admit it. I don't know. I don't know. Really know the story. I don't know the story. Where this is going is now she's gotten herself in some trouble because now she's going out there and she's talking about how CBD cured someone she knows child, or I don't even know if she knows him. I picture somebody who follows this Katie Price for whatever reason. I don't know what she does. I don't know. She's an influencer. I don't even know. I don't know. But anyway, um, I don't know. I don't know if someone out there was like, yeah, they were giving their kids CBD and their cancer went away, and all this. It's like, hey, I can make friends with Katie Price. I'll tell her. And I'm not saying that didn't happen, but you can't say those things. She's going to find out. She has probably actually, and it's gotten a letter from the FDA saying cease and desist of all mentioning of any of this. And that should be it. You usually get a warning. You get one warning, from my understanding, if you decide to rant and rave and make medical claims about anything. I don't care what it is. You might be able to go out there and be like, eating the shag of carpet makes you younger and makes your bones stronger. I don't know. The government's going to be like, once your voice gets out there, the government's going to be like, you cannot make those claims. If you continue to make those claims, they will put you in jail. Just so you know, it has happened. I have seen it happen. Most of the time, 99.9% of the time, people are smart enough to stop making claims. There are ways around that, especially by putting even like saying the FDA has not supported this information. Either way. But if you continue, they will hold you accountable. That is one thing for sure that I know. Okay, well, we're going to leave you today with a couple strength building recipes. So I believe this first one is just basically a smoothie, of course. Add hemp hearts to any smoothie that you make, and it's gonna be beneficial. But these were actually these recipes come from a Pelotonin trainer, and again, it was 4 recipes total. 2 of them included hemp hearts, and I'm almost surprised. You probably could have sprinkled hemp hearts over the salmon dish or the fish dish that she had, and added the hemp to that one as well. But so this is just your basic smoothie. But if you're a trainer, or you're working out every day, either way, this is going to be beneficial to your workouts. And the last one here is actually cookies. This is a recipe for some cookies. There it is. And so, we'll leave it up there for a minute. But, I mean, who doesn't want to justify eating cookies for their workout routine?
My workout cookies.
My workout cookies. Come on. I mean, I feel like there should be I don't know, thousands of people that work out saying, Beach, I love you right now.
I'm going to start working out.
I'm going to start working out just so I can eat these cookies. I have started working out. I am still working out. But, it is what it is. So there we go. If you're looking for some workout cookies,
there you go.
Here they are on the High Noon Hemp Show. Who'd have thought? Spread the word.
Nice.
Either way. And again, I will do a good job. I did actually keep with my word when I said I would post those recipes the last show. I don't think I did last week's picks. And of course, these are really the only picks we have. So I'll try to get these on the, at least on the Hemptations Beach Facebook page. So you can go there and save it that way if you want. If you don't have a chance to get yourself a screenshot right now. And of course, you can go to YouTube at any time. Click on there, find the recipe, pause it. Either way, we're there. We're there for you, for your strength training cookie needs. With hemp, of course. All right. Yeah. Not too many events. We got 4/7 is the medical marijuana meetup at Mad Tree from 8 to 10. And then, of course, 4/19, which is a Sunday, is the Cincinnati Earth Day down at Washington Park. I'll be down there wandering around. Come down, and if you see me, that's right. You can say, "Hey, Beach, what are you wearing?" And I'll give you a little hemp show, maybe right there at Washington Park. Do a little walk on the catwalk, on the sidewalk.
There you go.
Do a little walk on the sidewalk. It was funny though. Speaking of catwalks and fashion shows, I just found a poster of one of the old um, uh, marijuana events that used to happen downtown. The Happy Hemptress when she organized them, and it said Hemp Fashion Show on it. So I know that we did that. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I didn't have any questions. You've heard my thoughts. Pass on the word. Like, subscribe, and do all those things and tell your friends. We love you for it. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See y'all next week.